Do you like music? Sound effects? Opera? Wait, how do you feel about sci-fi? Sabrina Peña Young is a multi-passionate musician, sound artist, political activist, writer, director, and she has an amazing resume with an unbelievable drive to create new soundscapes. I met her at the first Valkyrie International Film Festival, where she sat down and shared some thoughts with all of us. And we bounced all over. So let's please welcome the amazing filmmaker, artist, and human being, Sabrina Peña Young.
Okay.
What films do you have at the festival this year?
I actually just had the one, Resurrection Day. So normally, pre-pandemic, I used to do a lot of films in the area, and I actually had a film class and a film workshop and all that stuff. Then the pandemic hit, and my health, my daughter that I was just mentioning has diabetes now. I have long COVID. Pretty much, this is the first film I've done in 3 years. And so it's the only film I've done, and I really, really wanted to get it in this film festival because I strongly believe that women need this kind of a festival and need these kind of opportunities. I'm actually trained as a composer, and I actually started out as a drummer, so I kind of know a lot about being the only woman in the room. And so a lot of the work I've done in my life has been about, advocating for women to be in these spaces that typically are male-centric. So I really wanted to get this done. I thought it would only take me a few weeks to put it together. It took a few months because I'm so sick that I can't do a full shoot. I can only do like 45 minutes at a time and then have to take a break. And originally I'd hoped to have a whole team and a production team, but I realized I couldn't shoot it in a few days. I'd have to take my time. So I did that. So that's the only one I have in there, but I spent a lot of time on it. Like I said, it was a few months, and the script itself was actually from before the pandemic. And then it was supposed to be a play, and it was accepted to be performed in 2020, and then the pandemic hit, so it never got performed. And so I rewrote it as a short film. And then I took out one character and made it just a one-person show, and I ended up acting in it, animating it, writing the music for it, writing it, directing it. I did almost everything except for one zombie scream that I let my daughter do.
Nice.
Yeah, well so it was very much a labor of love. So what was the question?
What film did you have here? You
answered
it perfectly. Yep.
Long
I love
answer.
it.
Okay.
It makes the interviews good.
There you go.
Speaking of film in general, what got you first into it? What ignited that passion?
So I started out as a classical percussionist, and I wanted to be a professional percussionist, and then I got into being a composer. Mm-hmm. So I became a classical composer, and then I got into electronic music, and then when I was in my undergrad, I joined a group called SciComm, which is a crazy group of Floridian composers, artists, filmmakers at the University of South Florida, and we were nuts. We were doing avant-garde stuff. Everything we did, we tried to piss off the audience. We were really into Fluxus. We were into craziness, and it was just a really interesting interdisciplinary combination of art and music and film and just insanity. It was nuts. I did a lot of performance art. I dressed up like a female version of Frankenstein and kissed some random guy on screen. It was just all this craziness. And I really began to realize I loved visuals and sound together. And my family was very much into Star Wars and sci-fi and all that kind of stuff, the original Planet of the Apes. One of my favorite films is the original Metropolis, back in the day and stuff like that, or Nosferatu and just that kind of stuff. So
those things hold up.
Yeah, they really do. It's kind of creepy. And it's all that kind of stuff. So I started with more these really avant-garde, electronic music, live performance, performance art, multimedia kind of things. And then eventually just kind of slowly made my way into film. And then when we moved to Buffalo, probably about a decade ago now, I discovered there was a really good film community here, and I just decided to kind of just go into it. By then, I'd realized that I had been a professor for 15 years as a music professor, and just the way things are, classical music's very prejudiced. I'm Latina, I'm not male, I'm not 60 years old, so I don't fit any of the typical that you would consider a music professor, and I couldn't get a position in that. Like I said, I started my own company instead, and so I just found film was an opportunity to take everything I loved and just, be able to, and also get together with other people. So in case you can't tell, I'm an extrovert, and just to get together with other people and create new things and tell stories, and the community here is amazing. It's so supportive, and it's just, and I love the horror genres that we have here and the sci-fi and some of the craziness we do. So, I just kind of really got into the film thing until the pandemic, and then life just kind of stopped.
What do you have coming down the pike? What kind of projects do you have in your heart that want to get
Well,
first
I have
dibs?
a lot of sketches of things that were supposed to be done years ago and didn't get done because of the pandemic and stuff like that. I'm mostly known for, I did an animated opera called Libertarian, like about 10 years ago now, and I actually had written the precursor to that opera. It's a sci-fi opera and everything, and it pretty much would be her grandmother and her story, but it's more of a refugee story. And it would be a children's opera. So I've been wanting to kind of take what I do and create something that would be like children could see and stuff. So that's one thing. And then also my daughter who came with me, she's kind of into writing and stuff. So I want to do a project with her, but I'm not really sure what. She's got a crazy mind like I do. So I'm guessing it's going to be horror or ghosts or sci-fi zombie ghosts. I'm not really sure, but she's done a couple of films with me. So there's that. And then I kind of want to work on doing like music-wise, I'd like to do a jazz solo album, like a concept album. I've been wanting to do that for a while, just kind of touching on some of the social justice issues that have been going around. I worked in politics for a while, so I kind of have a lot to say about what's going on. So I kind of want to do that too. So that's probably, it's kind of hard to figure. And I have a fourth novel I want to write. So there's like a lot of things that.
A lot of irons in the fire?
Yeah, and I have to be careful because I used to be able to do like 5 or 6 big projects at a time. And now I can apparently only do one slowly at a time. So I've got to try to really think it out, like which one I can finish. And that's really what matters because unfortunately I used to be able to do a lot more and now I can't. So it's kind of hard.
So what made you want to submit to this film festival?
Well, for one thing, I love Tamar and Kaylin. They're amazing. And they have been really supportive when my daughter became diabetic. Their family has been really supportive of our family, which I appreciate a lot. Because Kaylin's gone through the same thing that my daughter is now, and it's rare to have somebody in your circle that like she totally gets it and their family gets it. I also think it's really important that women have this kind of a festival, that we have this space to really, act as a director, not just, the object of the camera, but to actually be. And I think that we have stories to tell that have not been told. And while I wouldn't say that watching all the films you'd be like, oh, clearly a woman wrote this, I think a lot of these films you could tell that it was clearly from a female perspective. And I think that was really important because our stories have been suppressed or not told or not shown or not important enough or not funded, which you had mentioned yourself that you were talking about that. And I think that myself, I've gone through hell and back to even just break as many glass ceilings as I can, even if I end up all bloodied and gross. But then hopefully my daughter won't have to do the same. And we continue to break glass ceilings. So I think that, seeing women as directors, not just, the pretty face or the victim or whatever, is really important. And the fact that, these characters are being written as women by women, they're not these one-dimensional characters. They're very, like in your film, with the one mom that was also a psycho serial killer. I think only a bear mama could write that.
Yeah.
That would be something that I would write. Yeah, totally get that, So I feel like those stories need to be told because too long, films specifically, but even just stories in general, have been very patriarchal. And yeah.
I'll give you a story. Reese Witherspoon, when accepting one of the awards for one of her many acting talents and accolades, she got up on stage and she said,
"What do we do now?" Seriously, I'm not kidding. Go back and watch any movie, and you will see this line over and over again. You're going to see it now. I'm telling you. My daughter watched a movie last weekend. She goes, "Mom, I heard that line." And I love to ask questions, but it's my most hated question. And I dread reading scripts that have no women involved in their creation because inevitably I get to that part where the girl turns to the guy and she goes, "What do we do now?" Now, do you know any woman in any crisis situation who has any woman in any crisis who has absolutely no idea what to do?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm kind of trying to work more with like unions, abolition, and what's the other? Oh, mutual aid. Trying to get mutual aid out there, because then if people have access to things, they are not dependent on the systems anymore, and they're dependent on each other, and so that kind of thing. So that's what I've been trying to focus on. The unions are really, the labor movement is global right now, and so that's really what I'm trying to push and volunteering and trying to get that going in the U.S. the way it's going across the world. So, but this is like stuff that I do on the side. Another reason why creativity is like, you have this important work to do and you're like, but I want to make a movie, but there's important work to do.
Where can people find you on your socials and websites, anything you want to promote?
Okay, yeah, sure. You can find my stuff at sabrinapeñayoung.com. From there you can find, I have scores, I'm on Facebook. You can just look up Sabrina Peña Young, and I'm on Facebook, and you can join my musician page. I'm also on Bandcamp. Pretty much if you Google Sabrina Peña Young, you will find all my things. And I also have a link tree, and I believe my link tree is under Sabrina Young. From there you can get everything that you need to get. And if you really want to see the political side of me, where I get really angry at people, you go at the Latin Diva. There I'm snarky and mean and not a very nice person. So if you like that and you enjoy trolling, that's where you would go. So, yay for abolition.
We didn't even talk about Sabrina's multi-nominated film, Resurrection Day, which played while we were there. But you can look that one up, as well as many other projects and accolades on her website and on IMDb. Links below. I'll even link to the TEDx talk she gave about crowdsourcing and opera, which is amazing. Thank you, Sabrina, for sharing your thoughts with us, and I can't wait to see you again soon. If you enjoyed this interview, please like, subscribe, and most importantly, subscribe to the newsletter that I have. It's free, it's weekly, it keeps you on top of all the filmmaker news that I have in the New England area. Definitely subscribe to that. It's free. Why wouldn't you? You can also follow us on Ko-fi, kofi.com/friendlyfilmmaker. And you could do that for free as well, or you could support and get even more behind the scenes and goodies. Thank you so much to all the Ko-fi supporters. You guys keep this show going and growing, and you guys keep the lights on, and I can't thank you enough. Join me next time when we interview filmmaker and actor Diana Porter. Thanks for watching.
Friendly Filmmaker is a Tuba Creations production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Mastodon. And if you like what we do, consider supporting us on Ko-fi with either a one-time donation or a membership. Members get all sorts of great perks. Check out kofi.com/friendlyfilmmaker for more. That's ko-fi.com/friendlyfilmmaker. Thanks for watching.